And we are back with another episode of the Hockey Princess podcast. I am your host, the Hockey Princess. Guys, I promised you some new faces since Crusty Old Guy is going to be out for a couple of weeks. And we have Sarah from Hot Girls Learn Hockey. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Perfect, perfect. Well, we're excited to have you. Um, Kind of getting into it, do you want to kind of tell the story of like how you got into hockey and like how that led into podcasting? Was it, I know a lot of, has it been like a thing for you for a while? Uh, did it come up like with Four Nations? How did you get into the sport?
So, I guess the best place to start is just from really reading and getting really into the book talk, like the
Mhm.
hockey romance part of book talk. I didn't start with Icebreaker like a lot of fans I feel like start with. I started with this series from this author L. Kennedy called the Off Campus series, and I got really heavily into those books as well as other series, all having to do with hockey. And it got to a point where a friend of mine and I were just like, let's just go to a game and see what all this like if it kind of lives up to the hype that we have in our head.
Yeah.
And so we went to a San Jose Sharks game, and I don't know about her, she loves hockey, but I just like absolutely fell in love with it. And we decided to go to more games, and the more that I was learning just kind of like the ins and outs, like how the game is played and just pretty much everything that I can learn, the more that I was just like, I don't really have anyone to talk about this with. And I feel like I want to educate more people about hockey because
Mhm.
I don't know about how you feel. I think it's a very underrated sport in the States.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like you get the publicity that comes around when the cup comes around, or when like the Olympics are here, or Four Nations, or like a very like niche specific topics when it comes to hockey. But overall, I mentioned this, I can't remember which episode, but like the cup finals will never get the same numbers as like the Super Bowl, which is really unfortunate, and it sucks because, at least in my opinion, it's way more entertaining, to say the least. Um, but that all led me to think like, why don't I just be the person to educate everyone, or like be a part of that whole movement to educate about hockey, and also learn more as I go too. And so then that kind of got me thinking about, oh, what about starting a YouTube channel? But then I was like, no, I want to do something a little bit more than that. And then led me to, well, about podcasting. And then it kind of just snowballed from there. I'm someone who cannot like things passively. If I find an interest, since I was little, I go like 150% or nothing. And hockey was no exception.
Do you find with going to like San Jose Sharks games, I know, they're kind of on the same playing field with Chicago in terms of like don't aren't the best in the standings for
Yeah.
right now, but it seems like there's, at least as like an outsider's perspective, there's a significant growth within like the Sharks community. Like that just seems to be very much building, and I don't know if it's the adorable friendship of Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini that is just driving that hype. But did you find that was kind of one of the things that kind of like drew you in, or was it just truly like the experience of the game? You're sitting there watching it and you're like, oh my God, this is fantastic.
Yeah, I think it was just like the experience of being at a hockey game. Like I could have gone to like a beer league game, and I feel like I would have had the exact same experience, just like loving how action packed it is, how just kind of fast paced it is. It really keeps your attention. Whereas, and not to knock other sports, but whereas with other sports, there's a lot of pausing, and it's just not as
Football,
fast
they
paced
stop
as
every 10
hockey.
seconds.
Yeah, you're switching out guys as a play is going on. It's they're not calling timeouts every time they want to switch out a new guy. It's like go 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 go, and they're on there for like 30 seconds, 20 seconds. Like it was really just the whole essence of hockey in of itself that really drew me in. And then obviously learning more about the Sharks. They're just such a personable team. Um, and just, yeah, all the really young talent that's on there, I think is just bringing such a big breath of fresh air into the franchise. At least that's the opinion I got from people around me who have been lifelong Sharks fans who have been fans since, Thornton was on, since Marlowe was on, since, all that. Um, so that's really what drew me in, was just like literally just the whole essence of hockey itself, and how fast paced and how entertaining it is.
Amazing, amazing. As someone, I have not been to, I actually haven't been to any of the California teams games yet. What are some of the best things about like the game day experience going to a San Jose Sharks game?
Oh, there's just so many cool things. Like, just the excitement of driving up to SAP Center and seeing the big banners of like Tyler Toffoli and Will Smith and Macklin, and just like all the guys up there is just like, it gets you so excited. And then going in, I mean, it just looks like any other arena, going in with all your like concession stands and such. But then getting down to the actual ice, like the fandom of sharks, like in the Shark Tank, is insane. Like, they have some real diehards. I'm sure you can attest, going to like Blackhawks games. We got people with face paint. We got people in full body shark suits. Like,
Excellent.
going down
Excellent.
to the ice and asking for pucks and sticks. We got like people in full um like what's it, like Mexican wrestler outfits that are like teal and black and white. just
Excellent.
just with that Sharks jersey just slapped on. Um so it's just like insane energy, and the Sharks community and just the hockey community in general have been like so kind and welcoming in general. Um Especially just some little girl who goes to her first game and is like, "What's an offside? Um, why did they pull?" I had to Google, actually, because the first game I went to, they pulled the goalie, and
Mhm.
my friend and I had no clue what was going on, and we were like, "Wait, why is he skating away?" And we had to Google. Well, she Googled, and then I asked our neighbor next to us like, "What's going on?" And there's really no such thing as a stupid question in hockey. I found hockey fans, and Sharks fans especially, more than happy to talk your ear off about everything that they know.
That's awesome. That's definitely awesome because it, like I said, from an outsider's perspective, just kind of seeing like the TikToks and different social media of either the like San Jose Sharks actual page or just people going, you guys
Mhm.
look like you're having so much fun. Like regardless of the score, regardless of like what's going on the ice, you guys just seem so positive just all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think being a fan of a team who really are like truly the bottom you know the standings, um, you gotta just have fun. Like, it can't all be all about wins and making playoffs and standings and all of that, because at the end of the day, they're still the team that you chose to like, and they're still the team that you've dedicated so much time and effort and love and money into. So
Mhm.
I think, I mean, from like just from what I think and from my perspective, like, my I've had just as much fun at the games where they've lost and it's complete shutout as I have at games where they've won.
Nice.
There's like no difference in energy.
Gosh, I'm so jealous. Ours are night and day if we the few games that we do win, but it can get pretty tense
Yeah.
in the United Center. But I think that's also, kind of the comparison of like an original six team versus
Mhm.
like a newer market. There's like the expectation to be great. So being bottom of the standings, we're like, hey, we're not used to this. We haven't been this bad in like 20 something years. But jumping to, so we love the Sharks. Do you have any guys outside of the Sharks or any other teams? I always like to refer to, I'm primarily Chicago Blackhawks, but I have what I refer to as the April team. So when we're completely out of the playoffs, there's ones that I'll hop on the bandwagon for the postseason, or other guys that I just really like watching. Do you have any, or your allegiance 100% to the Sharks?
I love my Sharks, love them to death. I have a soft spot, and I've been flamed for this, but I stand proud. I am a Florida Panthers fan. My number one player is Matthew Tkachuk, and you know what? It's not a bad player, like stats wise, to like. So, but yeah, and it's hard. I've only ever been to one Panther Sharks game, and obviously, Panthers won. But it was so hard. I wore neutral colors because I didn't want to choose which team. I just wore all black and I didn't want to choose which team. But yeah, other than Sharks, definitely Florida Panthers. And then I have family down in SoCal, so they're big Kings fans. So
Mhm.
I'll catch a Kings game every once in a while. But I'd say, yeah, mainly Sharks and then also Panthers.
Amazing. I also, Panthers are my April team. Very big loyalty to them kind of during the postseason. One, because they're just really fun to watch, point blank. And two, I'm one of the few Chicago fans with me and my co-host that we are Seth Jones supporters. So we are very happy to see him lift the cup after going from truly bottom of the barrel in standings.
Mhm.
How was it, just kind of like watching a Florida Panthers game? How did you sort of like branch out to like being interested in like watching other players that aren't necessarily on your team? Because a lot of mine are, they were a part of our team and now have since gone elsewhere. Like I'll still always watch Patrick Kane no matter what team that he's on. It'll be a little painful if it's the Nashville Predators, but because in my head will always be a Blackhawk.
Yeah. Yeah, it honestly was watching the Face Off docuseries on Amazon Prime, where
Oh.
they did, I can't remember which episode it was, but it was a profile on Matthew Tkachuk.
Mhm.
And honestly, he just had me like locked in the minute that he started talking and the minute they started playing his game footage and just how he is as a player and just going over like, his dad and his brother and his like the coming from like a hockey legacy family.
Mhm.
And that drew me to him specifically, which then drew me to watching him on his
Oh,
team.
Panthers.
Yeah, because I had never seen him play when he was on the Flames because I wasn't on, my whole hockey grind at that point.
Yeah.
But so I've only known him as a Panther. But yeah, I just like as soon as I locked my eyes on that man on the screen, I was like, I need to watch him play a game, and I wasn't disappointed.
No, absolutely not. Do you also have a soft spot for Brady or just Matthew?
I have a soft spot for Brady. My boyfriend's favorite player actually is Brady, so we both have our favorite players as the Tkachuk brothers, and so we try to we're gonna catch some Senators games this season, and we would watch them last season too. It really was the Four Nations that locked Brady Tkachuk in though for my boyfriend.
I think, yeah, yes, with like the Face Off series, definitely put the Kachucks on the platform, but I feel like the Face Offs, especially like the USA versus Canada game where everybody fought everyone, put them on an even bigger platform in terms of like, even if I feel like there were people that weren't even fans of hockey, but knew what happened with the Kachuk brothers the night before during
Mhm.
Four Nations.
No, exactly. Like we had a watch party with a couple of our friends because only like maybe one or two of our close friends even just know like an inkling of hockey.
Mhm.
And we had a watch party for the that final game that where Canada won, but it turned into a thing of once our other friends found out that it was that same tournament that
Mhm.
happened in, we went from like a party of 4 to like a party of 20. It was like everyone, even people that weren't there, that like my friends and coworkers, constantly all day were asking me about the what's that? The 3 fights in the first 9 seconds, the blah blah
Right.
blah. And I'm like, how do you know about that? Do you even watch? And they're like, no, we saw it clips of it because it went viral, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, I watched that live.
Like, let me tell you everything
Like I'll
about,
tell you, I
in the
will give
group
you a
chat, I can give you
breakdown.
everything. Let me give you the full lore on it. That was my mom watches some like bits and pieces. She is very much in love with William Nylander. She's just
Oh,
decided that Swedish players are from the Face-Off series. She took one look at him and his dogs and we're like, that's my favorite player. I'm like, sure, that's
yeah.
definitely a way to go about it. But even she was like, what happened? Like, I was getting so many texts. I'm like, how do you know? Like,
Exactly.
I'm
You're
confused.
like, I didn't know you were on that side of TikTok or Instagram. It's like, no, it made news, babe. It made national news.
Yeah, no, that was very, very exciting. Are you excited for the Olympics come February, or sad that we just have a 2 week gap in February?
It's like I am excited because this is the first Winter Olympics that I'm also going to keep up with
Mhm.
in terms of hockey. I normally just keep up with like figure skating, but I will say it is going to be a very dull 2 weeks of just rewatching old games while also, watching the Olympics. But yeah.
Now, is there? I'm not. I will say that I don't have the biggest knowledge in terms of nationalities for the San Jose Sharks. But are there any that you're kind of expecting to go to the Olympics off of the Sharks, or because ours is pretty slim? Like it's very much like I think Teravainen and probably Bedard.
Mhm.
And that's basically it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think any of the Americans are gonna be going. I'm so sorry, Will. I'm so sorry. I can't remember if Tyler Toffoli is American or not, but I don't think he'll make it either. But if I had to guess, I would say William Eklund. I could see definitely being on Team Sweden.
Mhm.
Um, if we still had Fabian Zetterlund. I think
Mhm.
he definitely would have made it. Same with I can't remember his first name, but Granlund, the one who he got traded to. He's on the Stars now.
Yeah.
He competed for oh my gosh, I think it was Norway for Four Nations. If he was still on the team, he would definitely be on Norway's team. Um, yeah, I think as sad as it is, I think the only guy on the Sharks that I could see being on any Olympic team is William.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough. And also looking to next year, is there any like matchup, anything that you're or guys that you're hoping kind of make the jump that you're excited to see, or just anything across the board that you're excited for the Sharks for next year?
I'm very excited for obviously seeing our draft picks on the ice and just kind of seeing, exactly why they were chosen for our team.
Hmm.
More specifically, obviously everyone's excited for Michael Misa. I'm very excited for him too. I'm more excited for Simon Wang.
Hmm.
I just have a soft spot for Asian American or just Asian hockey players. My boyfriend is Japanese, so anytime that he can see himself in a sport that he likes is great. Same with anyone else. If you can see yourself in a sport that you love, that's awesome. So I'm excited to see him play. Honestly, really just seeing all the draft picks and just seeing all the young talent and just what they're made of is
Hmm.
what I'm so excited for. Because I'm very fortunate that I got to watch many games for Macklin Celebrini's rookie year, and that was really exciting seeing him play. And I think it's just the same thing, just seeing all these new faces on the ice is what I'm like really, really excited about.
Definitely. I don't know about you, but for us, it's very much, if we're going to be this bad, I'd rather watch the kiddos just have a good time
Yeah,
than
exactly.
them being like stuck in juniors or college. Granted, if they want to be in college, I get it, but being stuck somewhere that isn't the NHL, and it's like I have to watch these bad games and I don't even get to watch these kiddos have fun.
Yeah, it's people can be real hard on these kids, and it's like they're like 18, 19 years old. Like
They're children.
they're children. Like they would just be able to drink in Europe right now.
Right. That was one of my favorite week is always draft weekend, just because, as a team that is consistently in the lottery, you care about draft weekend. Um, but it always blows my mind how harshly they're all critiqued. And I'm like, they're 17. Like, we drafted a kid who has to finish his senior year of high school next year still before even going to the next step. Like, these are children. Granted, they do need to be like critiqued to like pick them, but I'm like, they're 18. We don't know what they're going to be like in a couple of years.
Yeah, and it's like with any team that drafts as young as, hockey does, it's like you can critique them at a college level just fine. Give them a chance to play in the big leagues. Just give them a you don't even give them a fighting chance, and you're already comparing them to like Sidney Crosby. It's like he's literally finishing up his biology homework right now.
Right. What are your thoughts? Because I know there's been some kind of debate and floating around for the NHL to kind of adapt to other sports like football, for instance, where they move up the draft age.
Uh, it's it's like I can see exactly why there's so much incentive to up the age, just you know because of just how young they are and just kind of being thrust in this public spotlight and in this very, very physically demanding sport at an age where your body's not even fully developed yet. So I can see that part. And I completely get that. Uh, like these 18-year-olds, they don't have to go to the league as soon as they're drafted. And I honestly almost kind of prefer if they finish off their either college career or just any other league that they're in, just so they can develop a little bit more because they'll have that spotlight on them, by being drafted by a team. But they'll be able to adapt more to it without immediately having their face on the side of a building, if that makes sense.
No, definitely makes sense. And I see both sides to it, but I definitely agree with you that I wouldn't be opposed for them to kind of bump up the age, especially I feel like granted, there's like the tier of Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid where you could probably play in the show when you're like 15 because you're from middle of nowhere Canada and you're just bred for it.
Yeah,
You're
and that's the
just
only thing to do.
genetically different.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's so many cases of like kids coming into the draft and they immediately get thrown into it, like Jack Hughes, for an example, where like there's all this hype building around him. And I also just think Jack Hughes gets unnecessary hate more than he should. But he had all of this hype, go from the draft going into his first year. And then when his first year wasn't as other people expected, they're immediately throwing out like, oh, he's a bust. Like New Jersey should have picked somebody else. And it's like, no, he's just 18 and
Yeah.
figuring out the game. That's not an unrealistic thing for a kid.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like they hype them up so much and give them so much press and so much praise. And then the minute that they're not leading the team into a playoff standpoint or just boosting them in the standings, it's like, they made a mistake. This is like the worst trade they've ever this is the worst draft they ever made. It's like I said before, give the kid a chance. It's literally his rookie year.
I'm like, also, if you're if you're putting all of this pressure on one kid to just change the entire team and boost them in the standings, there's probably more wrong with your team if you're just putting all of this pressure on one player.
Yeah, God, just watching I just wanna give Macklin Celebrini, like, the biggest hug, like, and just tell him what a good job he did. Like, he was a top 3 finalist for the Calder Trophy,
Mhm.
like, and not every rookie is gonna get that. But, he has all these, like, really good stats for rookie year, but because he didn't miraculously changed the Sharks, season and turned it around, he's just now, I guess, old news at
Yeah.
19.
Yeah, it's very, very, very crazy. Um, I was going somewhere. Not just outside. Um, rookies, kids. Because there's one, we always try to on the show, especially like after draft weekend, or maybe we've acquired players, kind of just break down the difference of like kids, because they're coming from all different spots of like kids coming from the CHL or the NCAA or overseas when they've been playing maybe at like the professional level, like in the KHL or the Swedish or the Finnish league. And those are probably the exceptions where I'm like, okay, maybe they can get brought up because they've been playing with grown men and at least have a little bit more of an experience. But I definitely like when, you know, when players have like maybe 1 to 2 years of college, like coming after the sophomore year, you know, you get knocked out of Frozen Four and then you come on over. I'm like, that's perfect. He's got some time, unless you're a goaltender, because goalies are just weird and they need the full time in college.
Yeah. That's probably best that they kind of do their own thing.
Let them cook. They need to be in, they're their own separate category. Perfect. We're going to jump back to kind of the beginning of how you said that, you know, you got in to hockey with the Briar University. I too did not. So I was a hockey fan before getting into hockey book talk, but I definitely have read the L. Kennedy books. I have never read Icebreaker. I think I've danced around all of them, but that one, it's on the TBR. We'll get to it at a point, maybe when we have the Olympics and it's a little bit more of a downtime. Are you excited for the TV series? Because I know there were a lot of people that had some big feelings on like when the casting came out and kind of everything.
Yeah, I am definitely like was a part of the majority that were not so impressed, to say the very least, and to be the most polite, with the casting when it was announced. For the girls that have already been, you know, casted, like I believe it right now, it's just Hannah and Allie.
Okay.
Love them. I think they did a really good job. For the guys, it took me a while until I actually saw them do their character development and, you know, go and, you know, learn how to look like they are collegiate hockey players and kind of get more into their characters. That at first I was like, I can't see the vision. I don't want to see the vision. This isn't the vision in my head. And now I'm slowly warming up to, okay, I can see something. Something's clicking in my head now, except for Tucker. Because I mean, I'm sure they're gonna. Well, I hope they'll dye his hair. Because in the books, he's a redhead with a big bushy beard, and the actor that plays him has really long, like curly black hair. And like, I can't vision. Like, I can't picture Tucker when I see that guy with all the other guys. Garrett, Logan, Dean. I can definitely see them with their actors. It. I'm sure that I'll be, you know, proven wrong once the show actually, you know, is here and we can watch it. But for right now, it's like I'm warmed up, but I'm not completely sold.
That's fair. I'm excited to like see it come to life. I don't think I didn't necessarily have the biggest like reaction to when the casting came out. I was kind of just like, not what I expected, but will I still watch it? Probably. I mean, put anybody on skates on my TV and I'm bound to watch it in some context. Is there a particular like moment? Is there a particular book to TV adaptation that you're just excited to see, like a certain storyline? Like for me, it's the Allie and Dean when Allie's like telling Hannah, like, go get Dean, and he shows up at the dorm. I cannot wait. I need that scene. Probably rewind and play it at least like 15 times the first time that I see it. But is there like a moment where you're just like, I need to see this? or that you feel very like connected to, that if they goof up, you'll be a little bummed per se.
I'm totally on board. If they do not include that scene, I probably won't finish the series. But the one I'm like really, really looking towards is, and I hope that they do it exactly like how it's written in the book, is the I believe it's the mistake. It's Logan and Grace's. The whole process of Logan winning Grace back and her list. I I cackle even on like my 20th reread of the book, cackle at the things that Grace has this man doing for her, and he does it willingly.
Yeah.
And it like he has no he just has no shame and is not embarrassed at all. And I love it. So I'm really, really hoping that they put that all of it exactly as it is in the show. Um, I am very interested to see what they do with the spicy scenes that
Hmm.
are, because there's, especially with Dean and Allie's book, it's like that's like his whole personality, really,
Yeah.
that we know.
Oh my God, we get to see Winston.
We get to see Winston.
If they probably will take out Winston, but gosh, I
They,
hope they
yeah,
make
you
some
know
sort of
what?
reference.
Yeah, the whole bathtub scene. I mean, as funny as it is, I think that they will probably take it out just because of, ratings and trying to not be R-rated, but be like
Right.
TVMA.
Um, and I don't know off the top of my head, but they're just doing the first like four, right? For
Yeah,
right
they're
now.
Yeah, they're just doing the off-campus as far as I know. So the deal, the mistake, the score, and the goal. So just the main four guys. And then I think, I mean, hopefully if there's fan demand and the ratings are good, then maybe they'll do the next four after that. Um, but I think as far as I know, they were just greenlit to do those first four stories.
Makes sense. I didn't even think of it until right now, but and I'm awful for blanking on the kid's name, but I'm very curious as to how they handle the football player,
Oh,
Bo.
Bo Maxwell, always in my heart.
That
Oh, that's gonna
that's
break
gonna
me.
make me cry.
That's gonna break me. I reread the score the other day and I sobbed. I'm like, I know what's happening. I literally know the chapter leading up to it. I still sobbed. I cried.
Yeah, that one's gonna hurt. I didn't even
Mhm.
think of that. I've just been too excited to just see the fun moments. The like in the first one where he puts when Garrett puts the whole campus wide band. Like
Yep.
I'm just excited for like the funny parts, but I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna like wreck me emotionally.
Yeah. To see like Garrett's plot line, especially now that we know who has been casted as his dad, it's gonna be very interesting how they handle really like him and Hannah's is
Mhm.
going to be very interesting how they kind of go about that topic and how they approach it. Um, which I mean, I'm excited to see. Like, there's not a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of without spoiling it for people who haven't watched it, but there's not, at least that I've seen, a lot of Garrett's storyline with what he goes through, like coming from a male's perspective.
Yeah.
Um, and through the lens as an adult looking back at what he goes through. It's hard to like not spoil it. But
Right. It's
like
very much like you're told through dialogue. You're not really necessarily like shown it through like too many flashbacks. It's kind of
mhm,
just let partially what you get from the dialogue and then left up to like your imagination. So I
yeah.
imagine they deviate slightly just to give us more of that
Mhm.
background.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of alluding until like if they include it, the big Thanksgiving scene.
My God.
Uh God. I hate Garrett's dad. I hate Garrett's dad. I'm not spoiling anything. Garrett Graham. I am not a fan. Or sorry, not Garrett Graham. Oh God, what's his dad's name? I can't remember.
Garrett
I
Graham's
don't care
dad,
to
not a
remember.
fan.
I was like, I don't care to remember. Actually, I'm not a fan of you, sir.
Yeah, no, but it should be very interesting. I don't know where exactly. I'm assuming they're filming somewhere in New England, but I've seen TikToks of like banners being posted, and like people finding pictures of it being filmed. And I was like, oh my God, it's actually happening.
Yeah, I saw like a TikTok of a girl who was at a concert at her college, and she like looked up at like the jumbotron thing, and she just saw the Briar University banners there. So I guess while they're filming, they're also, I mean, it also is like a functioning college campus.
Right.
So she like went to this concert at her college campus. She's like, is this where they're off campus it's being filmed? And she made a TikTok of it, and I was like, that's so random.
It should be very exciting. Have they set a date for it, or like a expectation like next year, or they're kind of just like, we're filming and we'll see what happens?
I think it's like a we're filming and we see what happens. If I had to guess, I'd probably say at the earliest, maybe spring of 2026, depending on
Nice.
how much filming they can get done before the end of this year. And then obviously they have to go and edit it, and then they have to do press and advert or whatever. But I'd say like earliest I can see it is maybe spring. Or if they really wanted to do a big rollout, they could do uh September, fall of next
And
year.
do it with the
And
beginning of the hockey season.
yeah, I could see them doing that. I feel like from a marketing standpoint, that would probably be a really smart idea. But I mean, they didn't hire me for the marketing, so what do I know?
Aside from Briar U and kind of that universe, are there any other sort of like series, maybe standalones in like the hockey book talk world that you've read and you liked, or some that you've read and you're like, I absolutely can't stand that?
I've read a large variety
Hmm.
from like dark romance to really fluffy sunshine rainbows romance where absolutely nothing spicy happens. It's like I've crossed all those spectrums, and I have to say for any recommendations, I think her name is Becca Mack. She has really good book series.
Yes.
Oh, I have such an emotional attachment to all those characters. I love them so much. I also love I think there's only one hockey player book in this series, but it's the Windy City series from Liz Tomford. Um,
There's two.
is there two?
The new one dropped recently-ish.
Ooh.
I only know this because I had like a 3 week gap of doing absolutely nothing, and I didn't realize that Becca Mack and Liz Tomford both dropped books, and I was like,
Oh,
let me read them in one day. Like,
yeah.
let's do this. It's it's the one that's obsessed with Ryan Shea.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, okay. Yep. All right. Yep. I haven't read that one.
Highly recommend. I
Yeah. Oh,
cried.
I need to. I've only read the first two in that series, but I'm on that side of book talk where like it's just when the latest one came out, everyone was exploding with how good it was, and it made me be like, okay, I gotta add it to my TBR list. All right. But yeah, Becca Mack, Liz Tomford, Al Kennedy. There's so many good book series. It's just like even the dark romance books. I can't remember her name. She has like a couple books where it's like the wrong pucking teammate
Mhm.
or something like that. Walking red flag, guys, but the writing is really good. Like, do not take any romantic advice from these books, but they're for entertainment value, they're good.
I feel like that's it. I feel like that's most hockey player books, like how they start off, where it's just
Mhm.
like, if you were a real person, absolutely not. And then
Yeah.
like halfway through, I'm like, oh my God, I'm in love with this, the hockey player.
Yeah.
How do they do this? Have you read S.J. Tilley's The Vancouver Viper ones? If you haven't,
No,
highly
I
recommend.
have.
That's what got me onto it, was seeing the TikTok of the kiss cam scene where he punches the glass, and I like read the first couple of lines. I was like, all right, I gotta see what's up with this.
Oh,
And then immediately read all of those.
yep. I totally forgot about those. I've only read them like one time, like all together, but oh, it's so good. Oh my gosh, you just unlocked a bunch of memories for me.
I like reading hers because it's like, yes, she has the hockey series, but like if you want to like delve outside of hockey, she's got other options. But that
Yeah.
was definitely my version of icebreaker and my gateway into that world. And I was just like, wait, there's so many. This is dangerous. There's the other one, and I'm blanking on her name. It might be Megan Quinn, but they're like all of these hockey players. One of them, it's like a they're all in like the vacation house for the summer, and this girl, like her car gets stuck in a ditch and he's got to go like save her, and then she ends up just being stuck in a strange house with these four hockey players. I think it's Megan Quinn's. Those are absolutely wacky, but highly
Ooh,
recommend.
yeah. Oh
Those
my
definitely
gosh.
you have to like read in order, because I accidentally was on book 3 and I was like, hold
Yeah,
on,
you're like, who
what
is
is
this?
happening? Like I feel like there's somewhere you can read it as a standalone and like
Mhm.
pick up context clues, and then there's somewhere it's like there's so many things that I'm missing clearly, so I'm gonna have to like go back and reread this.
Yeah, I mean, I was with the off-campus series, I read The Mistake first,
Mhm.
and I had no idea that there was a whole universe around it. So when he was talking about when Logan was talking about being in love with his best friend's girlfriend, I'm like, you're referencing all these things. Like, am I supposed to know about these?
Who are these
Like,
people?
who are these people? Like, yeah, there's definitely books where you can hop in the middle of them and you don't really need that much context because the book is really good at it. But then there's other ones where it's like I need to start from square one. I'm just completely lost.
What is happening?
Like, what is going on?
um well, I'm so glad to hear, because I feel that I'm so glad to hear that, you're also a hockey book tech girly like myself, because I feel like maybe it's just the meatheads of the hockey universe that very much there's kind of like, I don't want to say hatred, but like an eye roll of female hockey fans that also get into like the book world. I love both sides of it. Like, be a stat nerd, watch all the games, and then read the romance books. Like, there doesn't need to be like an either or. Have you kind of also seen that, like maybe more like, I guess, like online kind of the eye roll of, gosh, I hate to say the word puck bunny, but that's very much like a quick thing, a quick response for people when you're like, yeah, I watch hockey and I read the hockey romance books.
Yeah, I mean, I've, very fortunately never encountered
Mhm.
any hatred over because I'm very open. If anyone, like, I'm not secretive about it. You ask me how I got into hockey. Oh, it's from reading hockey romance books.
Yeah.
And, you know, fortunately for me, I've never had anybody come and question my loyalty to my team or do like the whole name 5 songs by this band kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've seen just rando old nobodies and
Mhm.
people and other girls' comments just roasting them, being like, "Oh, you only like them because they're hot. You're not a true fan." And it's like, you don't know that. Like, and also, what if she had just gotten, or not even girls, but what if this person had just gotten into hockey or they wanted to dip their toes into it? They're got starting off on a completely negative foot in a community that is generally really positive, and you're not giving us a good rep, and you're not being very welcoming. Um, so yeah, I kudos to like any girl that's gone through the whole song and dance of being questioned about whether they're a true fan or not.
Mhm.
Oh, it's a lot from what I can see.
Yeah, I personally haven't. but like you said, we've all seen like comments of other people. And I definitely agree with you that the hockey community can be positive, but I think the like outside of it and the initial of like trying to get into the community is one of the most negative aspects. Like even outside of like the romance books aside, but of like trying to get into it, maybe some sports teams are better than others. Happy to hear that the Sharks are on the more welcoming side. But I feel like with the outside and like trying to like dip your toes into it being so negative, it's really hard to like look past that as a new fan. Like I would figure it's very easy to be like, yeah, okay, this is not for me. Because you think that, that interaction can be every interaction of like, oh, this is just how the hockey community is. And I'm like, I promise it's not. I'm standing here yapping about hockey wearing a tiara. Like,
Yeah.
I promise it's different.
It's like not no, we're not all like that, I swear. And it just gives a bad rep to hockey fans. And it's just not very inclusive. If we want more people to like the sport that we like, I feel like it's very counterintuitive to bash on someone for why they got into the sport that you like. It's like you can't want more fans, but then when you get more fans, question them, you know?
You want to get more fans, but get them the exact way that you got into hockey.
Yeah.
And that's unrealistic. Like, I feel like there's been so many times where, I've seen comments or heard things of like, oh, they're bandwagoners because of this. And it's like, they weren't around at this point. Okay, now we're getting to the point where some of these younger fans might not even been born yet. Like, especially with the dynasty, 2010, 2015, there's kids now who weren't like watching during the Kane and Taves era. They weren't around through no fault of their own. Also, I feel like not everyone, granted, I had no choice. I was very much getting into hockey since birth because my dad is massive Blackhawks fan and was kind of just like, this is what we do. But not everybody has that. Everybody takes different time and like takes longer to get into it because maybe they aren't necessarily like exposed to it from the jump.
Yeah, I totally get that. Like my dad is a Bruins fan as long as I can remember. Has loved the Bruins. He's a Boston teams guy, except for football for some reason. He's a Vikings fan, but like
Sure.
Celtics, Red Sox, Bruins, loves them. And so I knew about the Bruins. I knew about hockey, but
Mhm.
it's like I had the opposite thing of like other sports took precedence for at least in my little
Yeah.
like 5, 6 year old brain when I could, form my own memories. And yeah, it took me until I was like 26 years old to like hockey. So I can't go in a time machine and go back to
Right.
1998 and force my parents to shove me in front of a TV with a Bruins game on.
Also,
I
if
don't know
that
what you
were to
want me to do.
happen, you wouldn't have, you know, jumped to maybe you wouldn't have jumped to being a Sharks fan. You'd be stuck being a Bruins fan,
I'd
which
be
is
stuck being
fine.
a Bruin. Yeah, which is fine, which is good. We like the Bruins. I like pasta. Love that guy. Um, I feel like I would have definitely, yeah, I feel like I would have definitely been a Bruins fan if I had started in childhood. Although my grandparents were massive Sharks fans because they lived in Livermore.
Mhm.
So they were very close, and my uncle played roller hockey. So he was very much into hockey. So, I'm hindsight, I'm thankful for them because I have a bunch of vintage Sharks merch.
Oh
So
yeah.
like 90s stuff, which is really cool. But yeah, it's just yeah, it's hard to be a fan, whether you started when you were little, because then you're just like, oh, you're just, a fake fan, like just jumping on a bandwagon because that's all you know. Or you join later in life and you're still a fake fan and still joining a bad bandwagon.
It's
It's like
never
I
the
can't win.
correct answer.
There's no correct answer.
Yeah, you can never win. yeah, I really didn't get it a ton. I think maybe like occasionally, you know, being a fan from the jump, be like, oh, you're just a fan because your dad's a fan. And I'm like,
Mhm.
well, yeah. Like I'm 9 and he's taking me to get like I'm gonna cheer for them,
Yeah.
obviously. And you know, growing up with the dynasty, like what kid in the city of Chicago in 2010 isn't gonna be like, oh, never mind. Actually, I'm gonna like not watch this team that's winning a lot. Like, duh.
Yeah. It's like, what else do you expect me to do?
Exactly. All right. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for coming on our show. Do you want to take a second and plug where folks can find Hot Girls Learn Hockey on different socials and where your podcast is at?
Yes. So my podcast is called Hot Girls Learn Hockey. I upload every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I upload video versions on YouTube with the same name as the podcast. It's Hot Girls Learn Hockey, as well as audio version on Spotify. Again, it is Hot Girls Learn Hockey. You can also follow me on my Instagram. It's at Sarah X Crake. That's SARAH, the letter X, CRAIK. And you can also follow me on TikTok, which is at HGLH Pod. And I upload highlight reels, compilations of funny parts of my episodes. I put up polls on what episode topics you want to hear about. My next one's going to be about Sidney Crosby. I'm very excited about that. And yeah, um, go watch it if you want. Go listen to it if you want. I'm appreciative even just listening to me say all that.
Well, perfect. All right, guys, that is all for this week, and we will talk at you guys next week.